Welcome to the Human Experience Podcast, the only podcast designed to fuse your left and right brain hemispheres and feed it the most entertaining and mentally engaging topics on the planet. As we approach our ascent, please make sure your frontal, temporal and occipital lobes are in their full upright position. As you take your seat of consciousness, relax your senses and allow us to take you on a journey. We are the Intimate Strangers. Thank you for listening.
I'm honored, yet it's a sense of responsibility, huge. This is, maybe it's the first time that I'm sharing this story. You have no idea how, you can actually touch somebody's life. And only the fact that we put attention into it, it's already something very, very big, very big, very big.
What's up, guys? Xavier Katana here. This is a 90-degree turn from what we usually have here on The Human Experience, but that's what this show is. It's about the human experience. We had on the fashion icon, Simonetta Lein, and there's so much stuff that she's doing, and we get into a lot of that in this conversation. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Thank you guys so much for listening. The Human Experience is in session. My guest for today is Mrs. Simonetta Lein. Simonetta, it's a pleasure. Welcome to HXP.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you.
So, Simonetta, I find who you are fascinating. I mean, you've been given accomplishments such as best-selling author, TV, radio personality, journalist, international fashion icon, blogger, influencer, brand ambassador, entrepreneur, philanthropist. Oh
my goodness.
Yeah, it's a lot.
How many lives, right? I did in one life.
And we're about the same age. You're 34, right?
Yes.
So how does a person accomplish this by the age of 34? It's remarkable.
Never stops, basically.
Yeah.
I'm very, very passionate about everything I do, and that passion, I always say that it's the key of everything. If you don't have that, you have to look for it, because when you have it, then you'll have the strength to do everything that I have been doing. Because when you were saying all these things, I was like, oh my goodness, really? But it's true. I mean, 34, yes, I'm still young.
Very young, yeah.
And I also lived in Italy. I travel a lot. I've been to India many, many times. I kind of lived there a little bit. I lived in Cuba for a little bit. And then I'm living in the US, so I did a lot of things. And, being really focused on what you want to accomplish and being very clear where you are going. And of course, it's not easy. It's an everyday journey that you have to decide and redetermine every single day. But I think that's the key.
Yeah, I love that. I love, the passion behind that. I feel the same way. I'm very passionate about everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a moment in your life, in your career, where you felt like, okay, this is the turning point. This is what I want to do. This is where my passion is. This is what I want to do for the world.
Yes. When I moved to the US, it was, of course, a big step. Imagine that I was living in Italy and I had my family, I have my house, I had my job, I had my friends. So I left my comfort zone. Sometimes, people hear this, they're like, wow, but at the same time, they get scared, right? Because it can be something scary, leaving everything. But that actually was the best decision I ever made. Sometimes I always say to people, get out of your comfort zone can be, the key moment. And of course, you have to be very aware of what you're doing. And that was the moment. Even if it seems crazy, but you have that passion really guides you. And when I moved to the US, I really had this connection inside of myself saying, I want to transform everything I do in paying forward. I really think that in 2017, whatever job you do, if you want to make an experiment with yourself and open your life a little bit, to others, you'll really discover a world inside yourself that you did not, really maybe even knew it was existing. So the key when I moved to the US, also the US inspired me. I have to say the US is it's a country that it's very open to charity and that kind of feeling. I found a lot of people really opening, I would say, their heart and their possibility to make my ideas working because, I had already the idea beyond my foundation, which is the wish wall. It started first with a blog, but it was mostly I was actually interviewing at that time celebrities about their wishes come true and how they can inspire people. But when I moved here, I was out of my comfort zone. I had, so much passion. It just had to work. I don't know how to explain it. It had to work because it was just such a big jump.
Interesting. Yeah. I spent this whole week thinking about this episode with you and how do I connect this fashion icon entrepreneur? We interview a lot of different entrepreneurs and we range in the type of people that we bring on. But I was just like, how do I tie in fashion into consciousness and what's going on in the world? And it just, it was puzzling. It was the strangest, sort of fusion of two different things. And how would you say fashion affects culture, humanity, and what we're doing in our lives?
Well, fashion, it's a form of art. I'm an artist. My first degree is in fine art, so I'm a painter. So I was always fascinated by fashion because of, it shows outside, of course. It's like you are going outside with a piece of art, if, of course, you are aware of it. So to me, fashion, of course, I'm from Italy, so I always say, that it's in my blood. We have style, in our in our blood. But yes, it should be more of being aware that when you wear something, it's not just only, piece of clothing. Yes, sometimes it could be, but if you really want to put attention into it, you'll realize that, again, it's a piece of art. It's something that can communicate exactly who you are inside, and it can inspire people. My blog, it's called Empowering Style under the Wishmaker project, and I interview mostly women about their job and, their lives and how they impact the world in style. Because, of course, when you imagine you go inside a room, right, with that style, that it's real, your style, people see you. So that's why fashion to me became a way of communicating, allowing people or actually helping people to make them more aware of what they're communicating and what they want actually to change about themselves. Fashion can also help your mood, help your day. Sometimes maybe you're a little bit down and you kind of force yourself to go inside your wardrobe and say, okay, I'll change my day. I always say easy things, simple things can really do a lot. So fashion can be, of course, a simple and easy thing that we can put attention in our everyday life and understand that there's a bigger meaning about it.
I love that. I love that fashion is art. And I agree, when I do look in my closet and I'm looking for something nice to wear, there is a sense of confidence and there is a sense of presence that I feel when I look good.
Absolutely.
How do you jump from, I know that the Wish Wall is a big passion project for you. How do you go from being a fashion icon to wanting to help people?
The Wish Wall, it's a way for me to meet real people, real stories. I am a storyteller. I write for the Huffington Post. I write for Forbes. I wrote my first novel. Now I'm writing my second book. So I'm passionate about writing and reading, true stories. Also, fashion, it's a way that allows me to get to know another part of the world that gives me another perspective. And at the end, it's all in the same big circle, I would say. I just get it from another angle. For instance, I get to interview many, many beautiful women that I also meet through social media. I use social media a lot to really go and meet interesting people. Fashion brings, of course, that happy part, I would say. We're doing maybe also a deep interview and bring that a more intimate part of that person. I can discover, details of that person through their style. It allows me, I would say, to go a little bit deeper in a, again, simple way, but know better people. to me, it's a deep connection. It's not absolutely an external thing. It's much more.
Yeah. I want to touch on the wish wall because this is such a big thing for you. Is there a wish that touched you the most?
Yes. It's an incredible story. It keeps on actually touching me because it had so many parts. It was the first physical wish wall that we decided to do, and it was here in Philadelphia. We're talking about September 2015 when Pope Francis came to Philadelphia. I had this idea of the wish wall, but it was still a work in progress. I shared, I would say, my idea with the city. And as an artist as well, I was visualizing this wish wall as a physical, as a mural. And I shared this idea, said, how can I bring, from the online version, because it first started, like I was saying, kind of a blog, in the physical world. And so they gave me all the help, and we were able to put up this event, so this physical wish wall. So imagine a massive wall with a beautiful graphic, and we put up an event. A lot of people came. They put up beautiful wishes. I decided to go with all these colored pieces of paper, and we put up something that was beautiful. That event itself changed my life. Almost the end of the event, a girl comes and she basically writes this wish very quickly, put it up, and she starts crying and she runs away. And I go after her while quickly I'm reading her wish. And basically she's asking me to help her to get who killed her sister. I stop her and she tells me, my sister got killed in a hit and run accident. And basically we have the feeling that, we live in a big city. The city's forgetting us. We don't know what to do. We don't want that people will forget my sister. And I had no idea that actually this was a very famous story in the city of Philadelphia. And I had no idea how to deal with it. I mean, I was very new in the US. I'm still very new. So I just felt that I had to do something. So at the end of the event, we pick one wish that we feel that granting that wish, we can impact the community the most. And so we thought if we can help this family, we can help a lot of families that are going through the same issue, showing that they're not alone. Right. So the first thing that I wanted to do was renaming a street after this woman that was killed. And by the way, she was my age. So I felt, this strong connection. And so I tried to reach out to the family. You have also to know that many times people put up a wish and then it's not that easy to grant wishes. I had to really go through. And of course, it was a very touching story. So then I had then to talk with the mother. The mother was crying. It was, very hard. But at the end, I told her, I'm here to help you. And she trusted me. And we went and we talked with the city. And this lady was killed on December 23rd of 2014. So it was 2 days before Christmas. And I said, it's end of September. We have 2 months. We have to rename the street before.
The anniversary, yeah.
And of course, everyone told me, you are crazy. You are in Philadelphia. What do you think? I mean, even in a small city, 2 months, it takes a lot of time. I always say when you really want something, sometimes also miracle happen. We didn't even actually know until that exact day if they were putting up the sign, but I still remember December 23rd, we go there and they're putting up the sign. So that was the first thing, like amazing thing. And then we were able to put up with the city and AAA and Clear Channel a big billboard because I said, listen, maybe someone will talk. And so they put up big billboard and a reward for whoever, would help the case. I prayed a lot, and sometimes really miracle happened. This is, to me, it's a miracle because exactly a year after they put up the wish, I received a phone call the same exact day saying, we got him. And so they got the killer, and the killer now is in jail. So he admitted it was him. And it's something, that I still cannot explain. I still cannot believe that happened. It changed my life completely because when you see with your eyes that things like that can happen, I mean, yes, miracles do happen and do exist.
Wow, yeah. That's such a touching story.
Yes,
and
it is.
I love your idea of service to others, and that is also one of my personal philosophies. That's what I do is I do my best to serve others as much as I possibly can. I feel like if more of us were doing that, the world would be a better place.
Absolutely. And that's why, I created this according to pay forward philosophy. I cannot do all the work. I'm just, one person. But if I can inspire you and you and you, and we keep on doing it, even small things, you have no idea. Many times, even a small gesture, a comment under someone's wish can change that person's life. You have no idea how, you can actually touch somebody's life. And only the fact that we put attention into it, it's already something very, very big. So if we all should start at least to do a little bit, yes, we can absolutely increase the quality of life actually very quickly.
It's kind of like the butterfly effect. It's like one small
Yes.
action can have this massive impact on so many people's lives. We've talked about your successes and the things you've done. Let's talk about your failures. Let's expose that, because I think the perception many times is that success is like an overnight thing, and not at all.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not like that at all. It's like this constant struggle, and so what's one of those failures, those moments where you learned from that event?
It happens every day. Like I was saying before, while I have that passion has to be searched every single day. I personally made the best choice for my life, which was really following spiritual path, I would say. And I always say you have to find your own way, but please find a way. You cannot think that you can accomplish everything you would like to accomplish in life without commitment. It was like last week, I had a person that I helped with all my heart. And actually, that thing, instead, she got it completely in the opposite way. And, actually ended up not in a nice way. And that, of course, brought me down. And to me, it's that struggle that you were talking about. That's the best tool, the struggle inside ourselves. I always say, when you're doing something, please try one more time. Always say to yourself, one more time, because you think it's over. That one more time with all your heart will open doors that you didn't even, could have opened for you. While I was talking with you, I had an image when I was 14. That was maybe the biggest failure. I think I was 12, actually. And I just moved from one school to another. And I'm the only child, did not have friends. My parents were very, very busy. And at this time, I still don't know why I did invent that I had like some kind of disease or something. And I wanted to see if, the other kids liked me enough to, feel sorry if I wouldn't be there, with them. And this is, maybe it's the first time that I'm sharing this story.
Love that.
But if I think about, like a biggest failure, all the kids were really, oh my goodness, no, can you die? Well, no, we want you. You are our friend. And I felt, oh my goodness, they care about me. Then, of course, they discovered that I was not dying. And then they hated me, right? And then I had to, restart a new relationship. And then at the end of the 3 years of school, we were friends again. That was a big failure because I faked me. I did not have confidence in me. But that taught me I can be liked just because I am me. And of course, like I said, even if I had so many successes every day, do not think that success happened overnight. That's the struggle. We do not have to be defeated. Never, 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 never. Always, every day it's a new day. And that door closed, well, I'll open it in another way. It always works this way. I always say dreams really do come true. But it's all up to you if you want them to come true.
Yeah. So many things there. I didn't want to interrupt your flow there. And so many things moving through my mind as you were speaking. The last thing that you said left me with an old quote that I love from Picasso that said something like, good artists copy, great artists steal. I love that quote, but
Mm-hmm.
that sense of
Mm-hmm.
originality and being yourself and not hiding who you are and just being honest with yourself, just being honest with who you are, even if you're stealing. To me, it seems like
Yes.
when we start to do that more and when we start to communicate in the most honest way possible, other people start to do the same thing back. It's such a profound
Absolutely.
feeling when I can get someone like you onto the show and then we have such a real moment where, you're telling me about this childhood story that you've never mentioned before. I live for those moments. I'm really curious about, in the business side of it, working with these brands, what is one of the biggest brands that you've worked with?
So I would say Ilaria Fendi. She's an amazing woman. She's one of the Fendi sister. She actually inspired me a lot. So she was the designer of Le Fendissime. So it was like a branch of Fendi. And she decided to create her own brand based on the recycling part. See, she inspired me because she keeps on showing me how, again, fashion is an art. So fashion can be something that can bring new ways from a culture also point of view. So she recycles everything. So she creates bags and jewelries and that kind of items. Everything that was wasted, she uses this to make luxury pieces. And they are absolutely stunning. And it's amazing while you go through the story of a bag because she puts the story, she explains I saved this button from, I don't know, the beer tap and I, put leather that I, was wasted here and there around it and it becomes like gorgeous. So she gave me this idea of how, we should strive for those designers that can bring innovation and can bring, again, something new. I don't know if you heard about it, but fashion can also be used as technological, I would say, aspect. So for instance, now they're creating bras that can detect if you have
Oh, wow.
cancer. It's very interesting. There are fashion can really be useful for so many things. So she inspired me so much. Now I am actually the official ambassador for Shahida Paradis, another extremely important woman for me right now. She's Indian and she advocates for women in India and try really to help as many as she can to become entrepreneurs. So when she came and she told me, I love what you do. I love, you're present into the fashion world, into social media, the Wishwell Foundation. What can we do together? I went through her stuff and I saw many, many styles that I was, first of all, inspired as a woman because she has this concept of women that have to be women, I would say, really, beautiful and classy and colorful and all those colors, that I saw because I was in India many times. I saw those colors and I know actually the energy that those colors can give to people and they are the same colors that I pick for the wish wall. So I picked like a selection of clothes and we created a capsule collection that actually it's for sale now until I think in May, something like this. That helps the Wishwell Foundation. So 30% of the proceeds will go to the Wishwell Foundation. So to me, it's first of all an honor. I mean, before me, she had people like Beyonce, Demi Lovato, Paris Hilton wearing her clothing line. So it's amazing. And of course, shows me that through my influential part of my life, I would say I could use, that part for a project that can instead help so many people because in fact, the campaign is called Heart to Heart. And so she will help with part of the proceeds, hurt women in India, and I will help other meaningful wishes come true. So it's a way of women that can collaborate and create something that empowers, create something actually concretely achievable and yet in style.
Yeah, it's really intriguing. I love the technology aspect of measuring cancer in bras. That's huge.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure that you've garnered a large following with everything you've done and these women, girls who want to be like you. Is there a message for them that you would give them? What would you tell them?
I received so much love. Actually, really yesterday, I received this message on Instagram from a girl that told me, You are the role model that, I was looking for. And if one day I'll have a child or a daughter, I wish she could be like you. And that, of course, I'm honored, yet it's a sense of responsibility, huge.
Yeah.
I feel the protection of so many people there. They feel the power of my work and they keep on supporting me, encouraging me. And that it's huge for me. And I will keep on telling them, remember, a leader without the first follower is nothing. So you are braver than me, because if you are, kind of encouraging me and, you see me a leader, without you, I'm nothing. And so remember how courageous you are in believing, I would say, and recognizing other people's amazing ideas. When I started the Wish Wall, I also received like, is this working? How does this work? And it was like maybe, the crazy idea that someone said, oh, but this is genius, And then it's thanks to that person that I started to do what I'm doing. You remember that you are the key of when you actually encourage someone else, you are the key for that someone else to actually succeed. And someone else will do the same for you. So always remember that when you give to others, you're part of something bigger. When you encourage other people, really come to you and life come to you and brings you more.
Yeah, I really love that. I love the honesty in that. And, something we do here at the show is we've had many people on and many, very big names. And when I look back, I've found in my own ability to be honest, when I completely open myself during an interview, it's when I get the most back from the person that I'm interviewing. And then after the interview is over, they will tell me that, they will remark and say, I've done a lot of interviews, but I've never had that happen to me. So yeah, I truly believe in being open with who you are and honest with everything that you do. And I like to look at it as, if you look at a coin, it has two sides, both positive and negative. And if you can turn the coin, if you have 10 negative thoughts and you turn the coin for one of those thoughts into positive, it's like this cascade starts to happen. People who have negative self-images, if they just turn one of those thoughts they're having into a positive thought, I think things like the Wish Wall, the stuff that you're doing, the service to others, is really, truly helping people capture that.
And also, while you were talking, I had this image, because maybe someone listening to us is getting it. And maybe someone is like really in deep problems and say, I understand that, but I cannot turn that coin. That happens as well. So I just want to tell to that person, do not feel discouraged if it seems that everything is going wrong. Just try another time. Remember, when you go home or whatever, remember that Simo told you, try another time. Do not get discouraged. Do not think that everything goes wrong only to you. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, it's a simple idea, but it's hard to do,
It's hard because, again, you have to battle with your mind. And many times, if you actually try another time and you put that heart, maybe, you can turn your vision a little bit. And like you were saying, maybe after a little bit, then you start to change your way of thinking. It's all inside ourselves. And if it's also outside, because of course the outside is the reflection of what we have inside and all the causes that we put in the past, and start to put positive causes. If you start from now to put positive causes, you can easily change the course of your life.
What's up, guys? You have been listening to The Human Experience with Simonetta Lein. To hear the rest of this interview, just get to thehumanxp.com, and to give you a sample of what you'll be hearing, you will hear...
Do not think that successful people reach success without training their mind. You need whatever technique, again, works for you, but you need something. A victory, to me, it's not the actual super duper victory, amazing victory. Without wishes or dreams, we are dead. Because without goals, we are dead.
And much, much more. You will hear all of the content that we've assembled with the guests that we've had on and their core message. When you become a member, it helps us support the show, carry this forward. If you value our work, become a member today. Thank you so much for listening.